Good. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Plant-Based Kitchen podcast. I am Roberta Lowe, and I'm here with my lovely guest, LaVerne. She is the founder of L Hypnosis. She is board certified with the National Guild of Hypnotists and is passionate about improving lives through the holistic healing power of hypnosis. LaVerne equips clients with skills and tools such as MP3s to continue their wellness journey. She is always a firm believer in power of self-hypnosis, which is her favorite form of meditation. She is a former NPR correspondent, WBGO news anchor, and voiceover talent. LaVerne has volunteered as a LibriVox audiobook recorder and an article reader for the Smithsonian magazine program that's there. She holds a BA in English from Rutgers University. And you can visit her at lhypnosis.com for any additional details or to connect with her. So without further ado, let's get right into this podcast here. And let's talk with LaVerne. We're just going to talk a little bit about hypnosis and meditation and how that actually coincides with each other and how you can actually do that for a better healing of your mind, body, and soul. And so it's a pleasure to actually have her here speaking with us today. Thank you for being with us, LaVerne.
Thank you so much, Roberta, for having me. I'm really happy to be here, so thank you.
Absolutely. Now, we conducted a few months ago with one of my Facebook groups, and it was, as always a pleasure to learn about hypnosis and learn about how that actually is a form of, meditation. It's all dealing with the mind, and it's about controlling the mind, subduing the mind, and refocusing with the mind and just allowing it to really, really create habits to really strengthen your or individuals' paths as they're walking along to be more successful and better people on this earth. So it was always nice to hear your perspective and to actually go from there. So just tell the audience a little bit about yourself. Tell us about yourself.
Thank you so much. Yeah, this is kind of like my fourth career, if you will. I've done a lot. I started out in radio news, and that really appealed to me. Being an introvert, I'm more comfortable kind of behind a microphone, if you will, and not so much a camera, but I've adapted and I can do whatever I need to do. But so that's where I really started. And then I worked in HR or human resources for about 15 years. And I have a lot of experience interviewing and connecting with people one-on-one. And then from there, I started a voiceover business, and I've done radio commercials and voicemail greetings and website audio and all that good stuff. So that, I got a chance to really use my voice again. And I've also worked as an editor. That was my last 9 to 5 before I retired back in 2019. But before I retired, I became certified as a hypnotist. I wanted to do something in my retirement because I am a lifelong learner, number one. And I always wanted to be of service and to help others. And I knew a little bit about hypnosis, but not enough, but I knew that it was a way and a holistic way to use our subconscious minds to overcome addictions and, poor eating habits and insomnia, anxiety, and all that good stuff. Mm-hmm. So I took the time and got my certification. And now I'm into my, retirement, and we're also in a pandemic. But it's been a wonderful way for me, again, to use my voice, to use that one-on-one connection that I really, really like, to talk to people and to show them tools and techniques and different ways to improve their lives using basically the power of their subconscious minds, along with their imagination and their visualization. So hypnosis is really a two-way street, or it's a partnership. I can talk to you. I can take you on this guided meditative journey, deep within your subconscious mind, to help you remember things or undo poor habits or create new habits. But you also have to visualize it and imagine it. And you really have to want to see that change in your life. So we have to work together. And I know I kind of went off track, but that's
no,
who.
Perfect.
You were asking me, yeah, I was supposed to be telling you about myself, but I just jumped right into the hypnosis.
Well, that's also being part of yourself, you especially just sharing your journey of how, this is you said fourth career, correct? This is your
technically it's 5. I think it was radio, HR, voiceovers, editing, and now hypnosis. So I'm actually short. It's 5. Yeah.
So this is your 5th career, and this is I won't go down that rabbit hole for people that's looking to change careers. It's possible, and you can do it. So I won't necessarily touch on that, but just you finding out that this is, and I'm not sure if it's going to be your last, but everything was leading up to, it positioned you to actually be a hypnotist. So which is really, really great, that even though the path or the end goal was not to be, you didn't possibly think about it, because one thing in our community is that we don't necessarily think hypnosis has a negative viewpoint on it. It just seems like some type of hocus pocus type actions or activities. And so therefore, we look at it differently, especially in the African American community. But you are here and you're telling us how this actually helps individuals. And it's not anything to really be afraid of. So it's great for you to push past roadblocks, which is also which is very important. I'll just throw this nugget out here, a little shameless, but throw this nugget out here is how we connected was because of the mindset. Because when I wrote my book and I started my actual Facebook group, I was like, hypnosis, meditation, it's all part of that level of really controlling the mind, and when you control the mind, then the body follows. So
absolutely.
I'm a firm believer of that. And so that's how we actually connected and stayed connected through these last few years. And it just has been very phenomenal to have that connection with someone that's like-minded, that's someone that really brings a different type of different level to helping people empower themselves and be better for themselves. Can you share a little bit more about your products and services that you actually offer to customers or clients?
Absolutely. Primarily as a hypnotist, I do educating. There's as you mentioned earlier, hypnosis can have, a negative connotation, especially if people are coming from a religious background, they feel that it's kind of mind control, or it could be a little evilness associated with it. And that couldn't be, farther from the truth. Hypnosis is really just a natural meditative state. So what I do in my education is I tell people that if you've ever prayed, if you've ever meditated, if you're a daydreamer like I am, you have actually already experienced what we call self-hypnosis. You've already put yourself in that natural, deeply relaxed state, because that's all hypnosis is. It's a deeply relaxed meditative state that quiets down your conscious mind, where all of our day-to-day chatter is, and it opens up the subconscious mind. And then you have to couple that with your imagination and focus and visualization, so that I, as a hypnotist, can talk directly to your subconscious mind and help you see what you're doing that isn't beneficial, overcome some of those poor habits and decisions that we make around food, around our lifestyle, our relationships, even how you feel about yourself. So hypnosis is just a really natural way to engage your subconscious mind to help you overcome and improve your life. So as a hypnotist, I provide that education, number one, of what hypnosis is and is not, and what it can and cannot do. And then I do the actual hypnosis. I also record, if the client is okay, I will record the audio of the sessions and then email you that MP3, so you can listen to your hypnosis sessions over and over as reinforcement. And I always tell people, you are always in the driver's seat. Our subconscious minds, it's like our intuition. It will always protect you. You will never do or say anything under hypnosis that you wouldn't ordinarily do or say. So I always tell people that don't be afraid of it. It's totally natural and you're always in control. So that's pretty much what I do. I follow up with my clients, within 24 to 48 hours, because hypnosis, if nothing else, is deeply relaxing. You will feel like a different person, from an hour hypnosis session. It just calms you. It slows down your breathing. It takes all the tension out of your body from head to toe, and it allows you to go on this guided meditative journey to help improve your life. So that's what I supply.
That's good. And as you were saying, it relaxes you in your mind. All I could think about is how I went to actually go on a weekend trip of a meditative, like they have these camps that you can go to that's like relaxing and
exactly
meditation throughout the weekend. And I, as you were saying that, I just felt so calm. I was like, oh, I can definitely feel myself actually being in those places right now. Is much needed. So what tell us if there's a difference. Is there a difference between meditation and hypnosis, or are they the same? And break that down for us, for people that actually don't know about either, actually.
Okay. I would say that they're similar. Hypnosis is a form of meditation, but meditation in and of itself is probably a broader category, if you will. And to me, meditation is getting very still, because you can't meditate when you're going 50, trying to do 7 things at a time. It's really hard to meditate. Right. So you have to first thing, and the same, and this is how it's similar to hypnosis. You have to get still, and you usually close your eyes with both. You usually slow down your breathing with both. But the difference, I think, with meditation is something you can do on your own. Praying is a form of meditation, actually. It's where you take yourself on this, you have an end goal for yourself. Either you want to get in touch with your chakras, or you want to, think about something that happened, or you're trying to be intentional about your day, and you just want to make sure you're in a good space. Meditation, I think, is more something you can do, and you kind of guide where you want to go. Whereas hypnosis is more of a therapeutic thing. If you need help, if you're suffering from insomnia or anxiety or addictions like smoking or overeating, the hypnotist, who is me, can actually guide your meditation more so. because it's more tailored to a therapeutic result, I would say. And changing habits, it generally takes 21 to maybe 30 days to either break a habit or create a new habit. So hypnosis gives you specific tools and techniques to tackle whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. So they're similar, very similar, but they're a little different as well. So I hope that kind of helps with the definition of the two.
Yeah, definitely, because I think it's important for people to know. That's just like how there is a difference, even though it's kind of in this broad type category, have similar attributes and things of that nature. There's still a small difference in between there. And that's the same thing that goes for being vegan, plant-based, vegetarian. It's we're similar, but then yet we have different paths that that takes for us to actually focus on or to get to wherever we're going, or actions that we take. And so that was important for people that's not familiar with either one, or maybe one or the other, to know that there is a difference, but it's still in the same realm together. They're working hand in hand. So that's definitely great. Now, how would you say that eating plant-based help with meditation or hypnosis? Does that play a part or effect on the mind, the brain, and if so, how so?
I would say that just making the decision, to be plant-based or vegan, or to me, it goes back to addiction. A lot of us are hooked on sugar and processed foods, not drinking enough water, whatever it is. And to me, hypnosis, it helps you reset what's going on in your subconscious mind. A lot of times as children, we didn't have a choice of what we ate. Our parents were raising us and feeding us, and we ate pretty much what they fed us. But now that we're older and we're able to reevaluate, is this really helpful for me? Is it causing me hypertension or diabetes or whatever? That's where you got to kind of go deep within that subconscious mind and kind of undo some of those habits and traditions and things that we just do. So I would say hypnosis, you have to want to do it. Remember, it's not magic, it's not hocus pocus. Nobody can reprogram you to do anything you don't want to do. So you have to make the decision. And then I can help you and guide you on that journey so that you can see and visualize yourself eating healthier, being healthier, being happy. But it all starts in the mind.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I definitely agree. And how we help control that is definitely, what we put into our bodies. Me being a plant-based chef, I tell people all the time, either our food is going to aid in our health or it's going to aid in our destruction, in our good health or in our bad health, so either way, however you want to live, that's your choice, that's your opportunity. Once again, just like you say, they have to actually
you have to want it.
Yeah. Yes. And I tell people all the time, you have to want to eat plant-based. You have to want to have that particular lifestyle, because it starts with, because if you go after what you want, then you're more successful, it's more sustainable. You're thinking about it from a point of view of betterment for your life, instead of some action that you must take. And if you're stressed out in any type of way because you feel forced to do a certain task or activity, then that's more harm to your body. That particular activity is not going to work the way that it should, work, impact your life if you actually unless you come from a perspective of actually wanting to do so.
Right. And you're not going to be successful if you feel like somebody's forcing you to do something.
Absolutely.
You're gonna rebel or resist it anyway. It has to be your decision.
Your decision.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. That's where you get the maximum experience and success from actually wanting to do it for yourself. So what are some questions that if a client comes up to you, and let's narrow it down to, like, if they want to change their actual eating habits, let's narrow it down to that for our plant-based kitchen members here. What are those steps? What are some questions that people will ask from you, and what would that, like, first session, or not necessarily a session in particular, but what would be the steps for people that you and that new client will go through to really, help them, aid them in being successful at transitioning over to eating healthier dishes?
Absolutely. Yeah. The first thing I would do is, as part of the intake process, before they even have a session, is ask them a lot of questions about their eating habits, what they eat, what times of the day they eat the most. Are they stress eaters? Do they eat late at night? Do they snack? Do they smoke or drink? Do they exercise? Just really kind of invasive is the right word. It's kind of strong, but I ask a lot of personal questions about why you eat the way you eat and what you eat. And then I ask them, what do you want to get out of hypnosis? What do why do you want to go to be plant-based? Number one. So they, comparing what they're doing now with what they hope to achieve. I need to know all of that information. I talk about their childhoods, the types of things they ate, even as children, their lifestyle. So really they're kind of, and that's therapeutic, believe it or not, going through the intake process, because hearing yourself talk about, I'm a stress eater, I'm a snacker, I tend to eat late at night, which is not healthy, like kind of right before you go to bed. So I know what I'm doing wrong. And FYI, I am a vegetarian. I'm kind of have one foot on both sides between vegan and vegetarianism, but I'm working on it. Not quite there yet, but I'm working on it. But I did give up meat, over 20 years ago. Don't drink, don't smoke, lots and lots and lots of water, the whole bit. But I'm on a tangent. Anywho, back to my client. So after we do this intake process, and they tell me where they are now and where they would like to see themselves, then we can start the session. But they have to really be able to see themselves there. Right. I can't make you undo any habits that you already have. So that's where the imagination and visualization and focus comes in. And as a hypnotist, I know how to guide you through that process. So basically, it's just unpacking what they're doing now and having a clear strategy on where they would like to go.
Right. Absolutely. And I think that is important for the listeners to really know, that it's not just a wham bam, go in there and
you wake up and you're plant-based, right? It took decades to get to to condition you to eat the way you're eating now. So it's definitely going to take a couple months for you to undo a lot of that. Definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's another what I talk about is really just, you and I are so similar with really speaking to individuals about the process of how it's not an overnight, change. You you could definitely be convinced overnight. You could definitely be that conviction can come to you overnight. But as far as sustainability and longevity and being able to really hone in and be successful at any habit that you're really changing, it really takes a little bit of time. It also takes that unpacking, which your intake questions are perfect. If people are at home trying to do this on their own, the book that I actually wrote, give them daily steps, and that's just one of the steps. And before they even get to the daily steps, is just like you said, the intake, just unpacking, bringing things that has been buried in your subconscious to your your conscious mind, and just being able to really collect that. I call it data.
Yes.
Just collect that data on yourself, because the more data that you acknowledge and understand about yourself, the not easier, that's not a term, because it's not hard or easy, but more so of you'll be equipped to really push past any roadblocks that's coming up, that's proposing a challenge for you to be, get to your end goal. So that is definitely something that, you and I really speak about. So tell us, we're about to wrap up a little bit here. Tell us, what is your thoughts about actually changing habits? Do you think that it's hard, easy, or other? What do you think about this? This is a question I get asked often. I just like to learn other professionals' perspectives on the hard and easy habit changing. I'm in the other category, of course, but
I'm going to say it depends on the individual. I've heard of people that have stopped smoking or drinking just instantly. They wake up one morning and they're just sick and tired of being sick and tired, and they just never have another cigarette or never take another drink. Other people need to go, take it step by step and gradually change that habit. Whenever that urge hits them, they have to do something else, or it could be as simple as, well, let's talk about overeating maybe. If you tend to overeat at night, you obviously need to try to eat more during the day, or read a book instead. In other words, whatever that urge is, replacing it with something else. Or not eating when you're particularly stressed, try drinking water or an herbal tea or something instead. It's kind of a switch and bait kind of thing. But I would say that it depends on the individual, how hard, how difficult or easy it might be to change a habit. And a lot of times, if you focus so much on breaking the old habit, I think that hinders us. Focus instead on creating a new habit and doing something healthier and making it fun, or a game, or having a buddy, and before you know it, that old habit will slip away. But if you look at it as a hurdle, I got to break this habit, that might be harder, but try, and again, it's all in our subconscious minds. It's all how you believe and how you think. So, I don't think there's a right answer. I agree with you, Roberta. There's other. I'm in the other category too. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was great that you mentioned to actually, not focus on the bad habit, focus on the good habit, because exactly where you place your focus is where you're going to be successful at. What's going to continue to come to mind. And if people are focusing on, them eating, say we're just going to keep it in plant-based, if they're eating meats and things of that nature, and they're trying to move in a direction of being 100% plant-based eater, if you just focus on eating the meats, every time meats will come up, opportunities to eat meat will come up, barbecues will come out the yin yang, people all of a sudden want to cook for you all the time,
Exactly. Somebody's bringing you a burger and fries,
Fries Yes.
Yeah.
But if you're focusing, and then also in that same context, if you're looking to change, and then you, after you enjoy the burger, then you have this moment like, oh, I can't believe I just did that. That also actually loosens, it takes away from you being successful, because everybody works off of win. So if you're focusing more on saying just the plant-based meals that you're eating and things of that nature, not even worried about if you're falling off the saddle eating the meat or something like that, then those meals will start to come up. They'll become tastier. They actually will start to, you'll be more creative about what you're going to prepare, more intentional about preparing meals and going shopping and looking at menus of restaurants before you actually go out to them. So, that actually, and then you'll feel like you're winning,
Exactly.
like, and so that would, and when you're when you're in a happy space, that actually push you to be more successful, quicker, or allow you to really focus on that better than actually being in a position where as though you feel as though you're losing all the time, not owning up to what you decided you were going to do. So yes, absolutely. Now tell me 3 takeaways you would actually like the audience to really know about a healthy mind, body, or soul, or one or the other, or all 3.
Okay. I would say, well, they're obviously all connected, your heart, your mind, and your soul, or your heart, your body, heart, what is it, body, mind, and soul, whatever it is, they're all connected. But I think for me, it starts in your mind. And obviously the heart and mind are connected as well. But it's the way you feel about yourself, your outlook on your place in the world, how much attention you give to what others say about you or what they think about you or how they feel about you. We tend to internalize a lot of that. My motto is, if you can see it and believe it, you can achieve it. So everything kind of starts, with your mind. No one else's opinion of you matters. I've seen these different posts that it's none of my business what other people think about me. I have to know who I am. I have to have my best good, at heart. And once I get that mind and heart, the mind and the heart, the body will follow, and I'll be a happier soul. I'll put it that way. They're all connected, but for me, that mind is key.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree that the mind is definitely the beginning point of everything else. So I definitely agree. So tell us about where people can connect with you if someone wants a hypnosis session for just to create a new habit or to get rid of an old habit. How could the audience connect with you?
Probably the best way, 2 ways. On my website, my business is called L, and the L is for LaVerne. So that's lhypnosis.com. I just tried to keep it simple. LHYPNOSIS.com. And I have a contact form there. You can reach out to me. I also offer a free consult where I answer all your questions about hypnosis. I do an imagination exercise to give you an idea how strong your imagination is. There's a questionnaire that I give you over the phone. So, that whole consult is really where you get most of your questions answered. And the other way would be on Facebook, where I am LaVerne Denise. It's my personal page. And I also have an L Hypnosis Facebook group. So either Facebook or my website would probably be the best ways to reach out to me. And I'm also on Instagram as L Hypnosis. So L Hypnosis, pretty much will get you in touch with me.
Awesome. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining us this evening and talking with everyone about hypnosis. Hopefully, this has answered any questions that one might have actually to talk about hypnosis, to talk about meditation, to talk about plant-based. And we are so honored and grateful that LaVerne decided that she would actually come on and speak with us about this topic. And just for all the curious people and all the people that actually might want to move forward with really doing hypnosis and really changing those habits, because sometimes we need help. You know, changing a habit is not, we didn't develop a habit by ourselves. It was actually taught to, you know, we learned from whomever we learned that habit from. And so it only makes sense to actually get help to reestablish a better habit or to reestablish a new habit so that you can be a better person. And so definitely, if hypnosis is one of those tools that you can actually use to really help you be a better person, the person that you decide that you want to be, the level of greatness that you actually decide that you want to be at, you can definitely use hypnosis as a tool. So thank you so much for joining us on the Plant-Based Kitchen, and we will see you next time.
Thanks again, Roberta. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Okay, well, that was